Safety on the Bamfield Road has been very important because over time, over the past several generations, we've seen innumerable close calls, innumerable injuries, a lot of damage to vehicles and personal property, but most importantly, a lot of death on the road. People have lost their lives in crashes, and primarily it has been the state of the road that has led to those deaths. Most recently, there has been deaths in the community wider when it comes to a bus crash that had occurred, and it led to the deaths of students, one of which was international. And that shed a lot of media attention on the Bamfield Road and the state of the road. There have been many tragic losses of life that have occurred within the Huu-ay-aht families and families within Bamfield as well, and those can't be forgotten. One of the major instances of death, tragic death on the road, has been the death of one of our head hereditary leaders, Arthur Peters, not too long ago. And so ensuring that we can invest in the safety for our community and for our citizens traveling back and forth from our homelands has been of quite high importance.
You know, when we really looked at Huu-ay-aht and we went, yes, we want a treaty. Yes, we want to be self-governing. That meant we wanted to be self-reliant on our own. We wanted to build that. We want to be a self-governing nation that allowed people from all parts of our organization to grow. And to do that meant we needed to open up our Huu-ay-aht. We needed to open it up in a way where it allowed people to come and visit, it allowed people to come home, it allowed people to build the businesses they want that they can bring to our economy.
The citizens are definitely excited for the smooth road home. You know, there's a lot of citizens that have never been home because they didn't have the right transportation to get there. Before, you needed a 4x4 truck to drive down this road. Now you can drive it with a car, which is huge.
Hearing the news that the road was coming was what stemmed my family to say yes to taking a home in my territory and bringing home 2 children in care into my house and into my care, and the ministries and all those involved with my little cousins. Also for them, knowing that our road was going to be safer made that decision easier for them as well. So the road isn't just a road, it's a lifeline.
This isn't just about safety. This is about reconciliation. This is about the years and years industries and governments have taken from First Nations, and in this case, taken from Huu-ay-aht, taken from our Ha'huthli. And it's an opportunity to give back. It was an opportunity to really solidify a foundation piece that helps everybody towards a strong economy, towards self-government, towards that true essence of nation-to-nation building.
Before contact, the way in which our people connected with one another across communities, across tribes, was via the water. So our connections, our highways, were the waterways. And that changes after colonization. That changes to a dependence on roads, especially with the dominant culture wanting to go into various First Nations territories, ours included, and extract wealth from it, primarily in the form of natural resources like timber. So the changes that have occurred in our territory when it comes to resource extraction happened without our approval, without our prior informed consent, and without our benefit.
I've lived in Tofino for 25 years now, and living at the end of a long road, you really come to see how much you rely on it. But having the road paved is a game changer. And it's not just about visitors coming or tourists coming to see this beautiful place we live in, but it's also about people being able to get out. So to get out for healthcare appointments, to get out to see family, to do shopping of things that you just can't get in the small community that you live on, and just kind of feel that sense of connection to the rest of the world.
I think there's about 170, 180 citizens living in Upper and Lower Anacla right now. It's pretty much doubled in the last 2 years. We built a bunch of new infrastructure and housing units down there. The goal is to bring 50% of our citizens home by 2033, and I believe we can achieve that goal.
Well, the Huu-ay-aht First Nations has invested millions of dollars in this joint project with the province of British Columbia. It's been so important to us that we've put a lot of time and effort, both politically and administratively, in making sure that it's done correctly. We've worked with the province in making sure we access the resource and expertise we need, and seeing it very close to completion has been amazing. It's been something that, now that I've experienced the good sections of the road, the improved sections of the road, I couldn't help but laugh while I was driving. This will be something that will enable so many more of our citizens, so many more visitors, and so much more economic activity to occur that we will see real positive change in a way that our citizens help control because they can be a part of it. Another great benefit of the Bamfield Road Reconciliation Project is to enable diversification of our economy. Right now, we're overly reliant on forestry operations. And while forestry will continue to be a primary source of jobs and revenue and economic activity in our territory, being able to branch out and really invest in other types of economic activity will create a more resilient community all around in that area.
This is a significant investment on behalf of the province of British Columbia, and it's, again, an acknowledgement that investing in reconciliation benefits all of us.
It was not until a meeting in November of 2019 here in Anacla when Chief Robert Dennis said, and I paraphrase Chief Dennis, "Let us not look for reasons why we cannot build the road. Let us instead come together and find ways to move this project forward."
What I really appreciate about Huu-ay-aht First Nations' approach to this is seeing this as a real opportunity for growth, but the right kind of growth, and knowing that the identity of the community and the kind of sistership really between Anacla and Bamfield, and the fact that residents there are together in this, and that the changes that are coming are changes that they need to be in charge of.
The Bamfield Road Reconciliation Project is one of the first projects in which a First Nation is taking the primary position of being responsible for making sure it gets done. We very much appreciate the trust that the provincial government has placed in us in being the lead entity on the improvement of this road project. And so those partnerships are a part of the benefit of embarking on this improvement. We will be able to continue creating and reinforcing partnerships with educational institutions like universities through the Bamfield Marine Science Centre, ensure that we can create meaningful and productive relationships with businesses and political entities like the regional district or the province, like the Coast Guard, the federal park, as well as the Alberni-Clyde Regional District. These are all opportunities that can help us create value, create connections, create resilience, especially in the face of climate change and potential emergencies that may occur.
I think both the government and Huu-ay-aht First Nation really entered into something that was new. It was something where Huu-ay-aht wasn't saying, come and fix our problem. Huu-ay-aht was, we want to work together to resolve a situation that benefits all of us.
And it took a long time to get all the players to come to the table, get government's attention that they also have come to the table and put money in. Huu-ay-aht has put money in. And so that was the work, tireless work of Huu-ay-aht over many decades.
It is about working together, nation to nation, the nation of Huu-ay-aht, the provincial government, working together with respect and recognition. And great things happen. Great things have happened because of that. Thank you. Kako, kako, chu.
To have all these partners, local, provincial, federal, all the nations, the communities, the United Steelworkers Union, come together and say, look, we need this safer road, safer conditions for people to work, safer conditions for people to play. What a great way to expand the community and connect Huu-ay-aht to the rest of the island.
And with a project of this magnitude, with many partners, challenges occurred. And then you threw in a pandemic. And a pandemic that shifted the whole environment, the whole world. And you had to adapt. But, we went through COVID, we went through supply chain demands, we went through even finding a contractor. It was difficult. But with persistence and the commitment to see the end, you found ways through those challenges.
The fire at Cameron Lake was definitely a big one for us, because with the influx of traffic for the detour that was put in place as a secondary route out here, it almost set us back at times, but we had a plan in place where we'd start at 36K in the middle of the road and go towards Anacla.
People just need to enjoy it. It's probably one of the most beautiful roads to drive. Just enjoy it. If people can slow down, watch for the trucks, and enjoy the ride, it'll be great. And it'll keep our road in better shape, too.
Being able to travel into our territory and experience not only the lands and waters, not only places like Keegan, our National Historic Site, but the community and the culture and the day-to-day experiences in the Bamfield and Anacla areas are something we are going to want to showcase. Being able to create a sense of place that is similar but different in a good way from the rest of Vancouver Island is what we aim to achieve.
I think our next step is now the marketing strategy. What are we going to market? What are we going to be able to promote people to turn left rather than to go right? The only way to do it is things like this. You know, we have to market ourselves. We have to become the destination that people want to come to.
What are some of the tools that we need to make this a reality? You know, Huu-ay-aht brought in a new water system. We brought in a new sewer system. Now we have a road. And then we brought in many houses. What is the next evolution of that? What is our vision for visitors? How do we want them to behave in our Hahoothly? Where do we want people to go respectfully, and where are we asking them not to go? And that's the next evolution of where we need to go. And to do that is working with Bamfield residents, Bamfield businesses, Anacla businesses, Anacla residents, and going, let's tell this story. You know, and working with people like Parks Canada and Canadian Coast Guard and saying, what can we do together?
We have potential expanding upon the trail system, building an itinerary-based opportunity, so when people come to Bamfield, you know, they have ideas of what they can do. You know, you can spend a day here, and then a day here, and then a day here. And what we're trying to do is work together to try and get people to spend a longer time in the community so they can learn more about Huu-ay-aht and the Chonlif culture.
I know Canada wasn't an investor in this project, but the expectation is high that Canada will be an investor in the many next stages of the reconciliation project with Huu-ay-aht, the investments that are necessary for the economic development opportunities, so that when those children come home, that they have prosperity, that they have economic opportunity.
It was a long time coming. Like the road was in awful shape for times when the weather was too bad to grade, and you know, you had to get to town, so you pounded your way through it. And like I say, it became the normal for so many years, but it wasn't supposed to be that way.
I would say for Huu-ay-aht citizens, this is an opportunity to reshape where we want to go in the next 10 years of our treaty. It's the next evolution of revitalizing our self-government, of growing to something and reconnecting to our Hahoothly. We have 890 citizens right now. Many of them don't live on our homeland. Now they can have a sense that they can feel safe to come and connect to lands that their great-grandparents visited.
Growing up away from it and now living here, I feel so much more connected to my roots and who my family is. One of our traditional ways of introducing ourselves, one of the first questions you're going to be asked is, who do you belong to? I couldn't answer that most of my life. Now, living here in the homelands, in a home, I now know those roots and who I belong to and where I come from. And I don't think I would have been able to do that living outside of the community.
I want to encourage our younger people to listen to the elder story. Because if this generation didn't listen to the previous generation, we wouldn't be where we are today. We wouldn't be focusing on restoring the Streeter River. We wouldn't be focusing on building the roads so that we could avoid the hardships that our parents had to endure. You know, we're talking about where parents had to send their children off to residential school. You know, we now have an opportunity to make this is home. This is where everything's going to happen.